Good morning, it's John back again with another Lightroom tutorial. So what I want to do today is to do a start to end video on how I processed this sunset photo. Now, this is a photograph I took at the tail end of last year, just after the sun had dipped below the skyline of the Pitstone windmill out on the Ashridge estate. So I'm going to start off in the basic panel as usual, and the first thing I'm going to do on this is to check the white balance. I'm going to use some of the automatic settings here. Now these are designed by Adobe to mimic the white settings that you'd have in your camera, but this is only available to you if you shoot RAW. If you shoot JPEG, you won't have these settings. So this is one of the advantages of shooting RAW. So we can try these different things. Let's try the daylight, and this is going to try and simulate the daylight white balance setting that I would have on my camera. I use a Canon 6D, so just for references. So this is what daylight would have been like had I shot it using that. It's not really made much change. Now the next two, cloudy and shade, will have the effect of warming up the photograph. So if we just click on cloudy, that's made it a little bit warmer, but at the cost of losing some of the cool blues that we have in here. Do shade, and that's made it warmer again, but again I've lost more of those cool blues. But these three here, daylight, cloudy and shade, are what you might call the natural light colours. The next three, tungsten, fluorescent and flash, are when you're using artificial light. And these artificial lights are going to be much cooler as a colour temperature than the natural daylight ones. Let me show you. If I go to tungsten, this will make it quite blue. I don't actually mind the blue, but it's gone a little bit too far. I can see in the shadow in the windmill here, we've got what is supposed to be a white base. That's actually got quite a blue tinge to it. So let's try fluorescent, see what that does. Well, that's gone less blue, which is nice because it's actually taken the blue out of those white panels down here, and given us quite a nice feel to it. And then if we go back to flash, or down to flash, we can see, well, this has really made it a little bit more of a muddy sort of colour. So I'm going to use as a starting point my fluorescent white balance. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on auto, just to auto tone the photograph. That's actually made it a little bit brighter. For me it's made it too bright, so let's just bring the exposure down. Bring that back to 0, and I think I'm going to bring the blacks down, so let's pull those down to around there, and maybe we'll just pull the shadows back a little bit as well. Not too much. I want to see just a hint of what's going on in the windmill, but maybe, yeah, I think that's probably about right. We'll do the usual stuff of pushing clarity up, and we'll push vibrance up a little bit. And that's done that, but it's made the sky a little bit too blue for me, and we've also got some magenta along the skyline, which is a bit too much. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fix that, and the way I'm going to fix this is to use the split toning panel. So the split toning panel allows us to change the colour in the highlights and in the shadows region. I think it's a little bit misleading because it's not necessarily the shadows and highlights, but it allows me to manipulate the balance between two colours here. And the two colours I want to manipulate the balance with is the blues, so we've moved the hue in the highlights up to the blue region, and the yellows and oranges for the sunset, so we choose the yellows and oranges for the shadows here. And now if I push the saturation of the blues up, we can see that it's actually made this very blue. And if we push the saturation of the oranges and yellows up, we can get some of the oranges and yellows back. you can see down here we've got some of those oranges and yellows. But I think the balance on this photo is a little bit too much in favour of the blue. So I'm just going to pull my balance slider down just to push the balance up in favour of the yellows. Actually, I might just bring the saturation down a little bit and just push you up a little touch. Actually, no, maybe I'll bring it down a little bit. Somewhere around about there. So what that's done, that's given me a better balance. We've got that nice glow here. We've got the yellow glow on the skyline that you often get when the sun has gone below the horizon, along with a little bit of magenta there. Actually, I might just push that up a bit more, and maybe we'll just push that down into a little bit more into the oranges, something like that. I think that's okay. Next thing we'll do is we'll do some sharpening. So let's push the sharpening up a bit. We'll mask out the changes in the sky, because obviously we don't often see sharp clouds. So I can actually push that right up, and in fact the only thing I really want to leave substantially is going to be the windmill. And then we'll just check to see if we've got any luminescence noise in here, maybe just a little bit. So we'll just pull the luminescence up a bit, just get rid of that, and we'll zoom out. We'll do some lens corrections. Let's get rid of the vignetting that the lens will automatically put in there, and any chromatic aberration I might have. While I was doing that, I noticed I had one or two dust spots, so we'll just kill those as well. And so go to the spot removal tool, visualize spots, and then we can just go around and kill some of these. Now, one of the things that I didn't mention with the spot removal tool when I did this last time is you can actually use this to mask out irregular shapes. And you do that simply by painting with the tool. So I know here, for example, I've got an aircraft trail, so let's just get rid of that. There's another spot there. We'll just get rid of this, and so there's one more there, and maybe one there. I'll get rid of that anyway just to be sure. So we just uncheck that, we'll be able to see what the effect of that is. So you can see my aircraft trail is now gone, which I did have. Just to prove this to you, if I just uncheck the spot removal, we've got this trail here, and if I check that again, it's now gone. So that's actually got rid of that quite nicely, and I think that's okay. And so there we go. I think that's really where I would probably leave that photograph. We've got those nice cool blues in the sky, and we've got the yellow orange glow of the sun as it's gone down below the horizon, and we've got some colour in the clouds there, and I think that's actually not too bad. So there we go. So we've gone from this to this in really just a few minutes. So thank you for watching, and come back again and we'll do another tutorial on where I process one of my photos. Thank you.